I don't know which one's moved. It's annoying. Which is better to have them too fat than too skinny. A mob of wormy weaner lambs last year at the start of November, and hasn't stopped raining since. I don't know what this is, just a weird little square thing. Well, good morning everyone. What is going on today? As you can see, we've got the stud ewes in. They're going to be joined today. And there's the AIUs up there. We put a couple of cover rams over them last week. So what we'll do is we put harnesses on them to mark them, and so those two rams that are in there covering them will be used in the main mob as well. So we'll just draft the ones that have been marked off, and they can go with their rams. These girls have had teasers. You can probably see a couple of them there. Teasers out with them for the past couple of weeks, and also we'll have to take them out as well. But I'll have to move the handler out here, because what we'll do is we'll run them up the two races here, and then sort of visually assess them, and then choose which ram we want to go with them. And then yeah, we'll probably use 6 rams altogether, I think. So we'll work out how many each ram needs, and you know, just look for the incorrectness in the ewes, and then try and fix that with a ram. So an exaggeration would be a ewe that's not really good in the shoulders, that's pretty broad maybe. Put them with a ram that's really good through the shoulders, you know, for an example. Sit. There's a few crossbred lambs in there too, which will have to come out. They crawled in there, the little buggers. They've just been weaned last week, so that's probably why. It's a nice surprise. Lovely. Sit down. Now we just draft them into their groups, obviously, with each individual ram. So that's why we mark them with the chalk, and we just go through and draft them. Got to draft them 6 times, but that's just the way it is. Just keep an eye on these 2 groups we just let out. Are the younger ones, so just to make sure they're actually interested in the ewes, because obviously they're young rams and they've never been out before. So just keep an eye on them for half an hour or so. Sit, sit, please, sit. Yeah, I forgot about this gate. How annoying is that? I don't know which one's moved. It's annoying. These were concreted in and everything, and one of them's moved. I don't know which one it is. Probably this one. Oh, no, I'll probably use this one. Should have left more on the chain, shouldn't I? Oh, we'll have to take him through the other paddock. Sit, that'll do. Steady. They've actually got to go in the next paddock, but as you just saw, the chain on that gate's a bit tight, so I'm going to come up and spray this paddock hopefully this afternoon or tomorrow, and I'll just push them in as I'm spraying. Up. Get up, Maggie. Here, Carly, get up. Good girl. There's one ewe that's had twins there. I don't know how that's happened, but obviously she's crawled in somewhere with a ram somehow. Don't remember it, but those lambs will be just marked as crossbreds. We won't, obviously not going to keep them as studs, but she can just go out with them for the minute. Go back. It's one of the new rams that we kept this year, so he can go up, just up, you know, around the house and shed here along the road, so we can keep an eye on him. I thought about putting harnesses on the two new ones, but they're on the other rams that we're marking that AI use. So these fatties, these are the AI ones. They're in good nick at the moment. They certainly don't need good feed, the buggers. Come on, Ash, just go. So they'll sort of be steady, they'll sort of be kept off the real good tucker now until scanning, and then we'll start. You know, they're not using a lot at the moment, so a lot of energy. So Carly, come out of it. But they're you know, they're overfat really. They're probably condition score 4.5 probably. A lot of them, which is better to have them too fat than too skinny. Once you get the scanning, you don't want to. You sort of run a pretty fine line with, you know, if they're not in good condition at scanning, it can be very hard to put the weight on and fat on between then and lambing. So, but as I said, they don't have lambs hanging off them at the minute, and don't have a big lamb inside them, so they're not using a lot right now. But yeah, there's probably a couple of condition score 5s in there even actually. We weighed them the other day when we were pulling cedars, and one of them was 112 kilos. So she's like, that's too fat really for joining. But the rams haven't marked her, so she might have the embryo might have taken with a bit of luck. But yeah, 3.3 I think is the ideal condition score for joining, and on a rising plane of nutrition. So yeah, when I scored them just before we put cedars in, they were at like 3.6 I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was 3.6 on the 9th of December. So pretty happy with that. Well, I've just boxed 2 mobs together. Dad must have let one mob already up into this paddock, which I should have known, but my ADHD brain just forgot. Oh well, mistakes happen. I'm not going to run them in now though. I'll let them be till this afternoon. I'll get rid of the rest of them, and the rest of the mobs, and then run them in and draft them again this arvo. Some feed in this paddock. You might be wondering why we just quickly we don't have stock on here. This paddock got hit with a mob of wormy weaner lambs last year, and ever since then so there's a lot of eggs. There was a lot of eggs on the ground, and the sheep, all the mobs that came on here after that just got really wormy. So to get rid of well, you're never going to get rid of them, but to try and really reduce the amount of eggs and worms in the paddock, we had to give it a spell. So that's why there's so much feed in here, because we're trying to give it as long as possible. In the summertime, you know, 25+ degree weather, I think it's like at least 3 or 4 months spelled. So, and this is a really good lambing paddock, so we giving it a really good rest at the moment. That's why there's a lot of feed in here. It's all cocksfoot, that stuff, and there's a bit of Phalaris in there too. And then if we look down underneath, there's also clover. So the clover is a legume, which means it fixes atmospheric nitrogen, so it's pretty well feeding the cocksfoot and Phalaris, giving it nitrogen. So ideally we'd have a lot more paddocks that look like this at the moment, but man, the past, like since the drought, obviously weren't sowing any pasture then, and into 2 very, very wet years, and some paddocks couldn't even get on to sow. So we've just got a lot of paddocks at the moment that are in limbo, like they've been sprayed out and cropped, and they really need to get some paddocks back into permanent pasture, because yeah, we're lacking in that at the minute, in good pasture paddocks. A lot of old pastures that are half buggered that need redoing, and then plus all the paddocks that we've been cropping that we haven't been able to sow pasture into because it's been too wet. Hopefully have a number of these sorts of paddock in the next 3 or 4 years, hopefully. This one's not very old either. Got lucky with it. When did we sow it? It might have been 2021 maybe. We sowed this one. But as you can see, there's a gully that runs down through here, and all the pin rush in the middle here. There's a probably hectare or a couple of hectares of that stuff. So that's because it was too wet. So, and it nearly died this year before it rained, before November, and now it won't stop raining. it's come back and it's alive again. So it was funny, they called for El Nino at the start of November and it hasn't stopped raining since. Come here, Maggie. Good dogs. Another floodgate to fix. Made a bit of a mess. This fence has been needing doing for a while though, so that's alright. Yes, lovely. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, hey. So these are the AI use. You can see some of them are marked. So I'm just gonna, when we AI them, I put their father, because we use two different sizes, I put their father on their tag. Just got to go through and change the ones that are marked to their new fathers, obviously. Otherwise it'll come up as they were AI'd. And another one. That log was the only thing that ruined this one. Would have been fine if that one hadn't have, if that log hadn't washed down here. Rightio, so just this final paddock here for the final mob. Just had to come down and tie a bit of wood to the bottom of that netting there, just so that they're less likely to push underneath it. They probably, I'm sure they still could if they wanted to, but this paddock's been spelled for a long time. There's a fair bit of feed in here, apart from a few thistles in the gully here. But this fence is buggered. I don't know what this is, just a weird little square thing. I guess grandfather must have fenced it off to try and stop a bit of erosion in here, I'd say. At least they won't get past this bit here, this fence. That's all right, we'll bring them down. I just got to fence that sorghum off as well. There's a little laneway that goes down to the sorghum there that I got to tidy up a bit. Might keep a few bars out. It's reasonably sized, it's just like a temporary, I don't know, I think it's called a Queensland gate or something like that. Hey, I think it will. I think so. Hey. Oi! Oi! Maggie! Maggie! What are you doing? Off they go. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that one. It's I'm just going to do the odd jobs now, feed a few animals. It's actually New Year's Eve today, so wish everyone Happy New Year. Hope you enjoyed this one, and with that well, I guess we'll catch you next year, I suppose. Alrighty, have a good one. See yous, bye.